So it's been a few days since Splatfest now, and I've had more time to, I guess, gather my thoughts and think about it. And you know what? My opinion of it is still like 90% positive. But there was one thing in the Splatfest that I didn't like very much, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before we get into it, if you could, it would mean a lot to me if you guys like the video and also hit that subscribe button. At this channel, we do a ton of Splatoon related things, such as theory crafting, analysis, and of course, high level gameplay. If you want to see more stuff like this, don't hesitate to subscribe. It's just one click. Alright, now let's talk about Tricolor Turf War in Splatoon 3. So pretty much every new mode that's been revealed for Splatoon 3 looks great, and that also applied to Tricolor Turf War when it was revealed in the Direct. But after playing it this past weekend, my opinion on it has unfortunately changed, which seems to be the case with a lot of people. I mean, I made this very vague tweet after playing a few games of it, and look at the traction it got. Now, I'll be the first to admit, this wasn't a very fair tweet. I shouldn't have just called the mode bad after playing 5 games and not really go into detail on why I felt that way. That's why I'm making this video. I want to get into the specifics on why Tricolor Turf War wasn't super enjoyable for me and how I think it could be improved. So let me preface this by saying that, yes, I was on Team Scissors. If you weren't keeping up with the Splatfest, the way it works is that once the event is halfway done, Tricolor Turf War becomes available. Or should I say, unavoidable, because if you're on the leading team, you are forced to play it randomly. It will just show up. You don't have a choice. That's my first problem with it. I don't think people should be forced to play a mode just because they're on the winning team, when the other teams don't have to play it. But, you know, this wouldn't be such a big deal if the mode was, well, fun. But let me explain. So the way Tricolor works is that the leading team, or as I'll be referring to them from now on, the defending team, has 4 players in the middle of the map. Then the other 2 enemy teams, aka the attacking teams, have 2 players each. While it is just a 3-way turf war in the grand scheme of things, there are a few other objectives. In the center of the map, there's this thing called the Ultra Signal, which the leading team has to defend from the 2 attacking teams. If they fail to do this, the enemy team will claim the Ultra Signal, which spawns these giant things called Sprinklers of Doom, which are essentially just giant, indestructible sprinklers that paint a ton. So on paper, this doesn't sound bad, but once you play on the defending side, you'll realize that if your team doesn't have communication, it is very difficult to defend the Ultra Signal, especially if you get teammates who aren't super experienced, which, since it's a Splatfest, is pretty likely. It's difficult because your team needs to be watching multiple different directions from mid, which is unlike your typical turf or ranked battle. And if you're playing by yourself and you're not able to communicate with your teammates, it's near impossible. Now, I did hear some competitive players say that they had a great time on the defending team, because they were playing with other people who knew what they were doing and were also voice chatting with them. I can see how it can be a really fun mode if everyone on the team is experienced and knows how to play objective. But when you're going solo and you're just matched up with random people, it's definitely not that enjoyable. Even if you yourself are an amazing player, it's asking a lot for you to be able to consistently fend off both enemy teams by yourself with little help from your inexperienced teammates who just keep feeding and dying the whole game. And by the way, if your team gets wiped once, it's pretty much over, because an enemy team will get the Ultra Signal, which gives them the Sprinkler of Doom. And these things are really powerful. They paint a ton of ground, and since they can't be destroyed, it just creates a rough uphill battle for the defending team. So for all the reasons I just listed, Team Scissors struggled in the second half of this Splatfest. So much in fact that Team Scissors ended up with 0 points, which is kinda funny. Now, I'm not making this video because I'm salty that Team Scissors lost a Splatfest or something. I mean, I literally picked Team Rock for the other region's Splatfests, so I'm clearly not faithful to any side here. I'm just making this video because I don't think Tricolor Turf War is a very balanced mode. I feel that the defending team is at a pretty big disadvantage, and evidently, it's enough to completely turn the tide of the Splatfest. The attacking teams get so much clout for winning these Tricolor battles that it just becomes a losing battle for the defending team. Now yeah, you can increase your odds of winning if you play with experienced players who know what they're doing. But unfortunately, not everyone has that luxury. And personally, if the mode requires you to have to play and VC with other competitive players for it to be fun/viable, I don't think that's a very well designed mode. But hey, that's just me. If you were on the defending team and you liked it, that's fine. You're allowed to like it. I'm not hating on you. This is just me giving my thoughts. Now, how could they make Tricolor battles more balanced for future Splatfests? Well, for starters, I think the main thing they could do is just make the Sprinklers of Doom pain a bit less. In their current state, I feel they're a little too powerful. They could also make it a bit longer for the attacking teams to seize the Ultra Signal. Or they could make a Tricolor win not be worth so much clout. The point is, there are a ton of things they could do to improve this mode, and I think they will. I mean, that's what the point of this whole thing was for, right? It's a test fire. They literally have this so they can test out how things work and see what needs to be improved. I do have hope that they'll make some adjustments to Tricolor for future Splatfests, because I do really like the concept and I think it has potential. It just needs a few tweaks.